When I talk, you can't. Nice job, whoever laughed. I appreciate that. So we gave you enough time to eat dinner. I know you still want to talk. We'll give you more time to talk at the very end of the evening. But we want to, you're really here tonight for two reasons, if we're really honest about it. It's to honor a great public official, and you'll see how we do that Colorado style, and to also recognize an exceptional service provider in our community. So let's take a minute to look at a video so you can learn a little more about Kids First. Bring the mayor up. That's what we've been waiting for. We would like you to come join us on stage. Yeah, you should get a kiss. Get a little support, dude, before you come up here. I got to tell you, though, at our table, somebody asked him, would you like a glass of ice water? Because you're going to be in the hot seat and you'll want something to drink. And he said, ice water? So he brought his own beer. You're down there, man. That's your spot. The reason he's right here is so you can see every reaction to any inappropriate thing we say to him. You can take photos, you can tweet them, you can blog them, whatever else. Are you comfortable? I am. Are the lights, are they bright right on you? Perfect. Excellent. Okay, don't worry, we're going to take it easy on you because you're the first roastee.
Yeah, you don't want to scare off the ones to come, right?
That's right. So I get to introduce Mayor Hancock, who's the first roaster. He is out of town, but he couldn't pass up the opportunity to grill his colleague a little bit tonight. Mayor Hancock is Denver's 45th mayor. He became mayor in 2011, and I think he's pretty excited to share with us a little of his insight into Mayor Ford.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mayor Michael Hancock.
An international incident. Pretty good. That was pretty good, Mayor Hancock. Now let's see what another elected official can do. I would like to welcome Councilman Renee Bullock. My notes say Councilwoman, so that's why I was like, oh, wait now. So you can see I'm very quick on the uptake. Councilman Bullock served on the Commerce City Council as a councilman at large and mayor pro tem. He's a native of Colorado and serves on many boards and commissions. Please welcome him to the stage.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. I know stories. I know stories that would get me fired. Okay, now, as you notice that Mayor Ford is a very handsome man. Mayor Ford is a very statuesque man. And at times we have been confused as twins. There was a time in Commerce City where people couldn't tell us apart. We'd be standing there, and they'd come up to me and say, Mayor Ford, and they'd come up to him and say, Councilman Bullock, but we knew who was who. So if you guys make the mistake tonight, I am the Mayor Pro Tem. This is the mayor. This may come as a surprise and a shock to everyone here. For the first year that Mayor Ford was on city council, he was a councilman, he didn't say 10 words all year. And when I say this may come as a shock, the people that really know him are sitting there saying, oh my God, because he only answered here to the roll. And our mayor at the time was Casey Hayes, and Casey Hayes went to Mayor Ford's father and said to him, is something wrong with your son? Is he spatial? He says, he doesn't talk. And Larry says, be careful what you ask for. And boom, we can't get him to shut up now. But I'm going to tell you, if you'd have been there that year on city council, he didn't make a peep. He didn't say anything. He wouldn't answer any questions. He just sat there and he absorbed everything, and then the next thing you know, when he started talking, he never stopped. Now, I have a picture that I'm going to pass around, and I want this picture back at the end of the night, because as you can see, this is how Mayor Ford dresses. He has cowboy boots and jeans. He'll have tennis shoes and jeans. He'll have slacks and jeans. He might even put a sports coat on with it. But I was there the day that Mayor Ford showed up in a pink suit, a three-quarter length pink hustler suit, pink sunglasses, black shirt, gray tie, platform shoes, and a big hat, and he had a Cadillac out front. No, okay, that part isn't true. But the pink suit trip is, and I have the proof. And this picture is going to go around from table to table, but at the end of the night, I would like this picture back, because this is the only way that I can prove that at one time in his career, he had another career. Now, the last thing I'm going to tell you, Mr. Ford, Mayor Ford, the word gunny sack mean anything to you? Anybody in here know the gunny sack story? In our first or second retreat, we went to Breckenridge. And after a hard day at the retreat, we went out to eat. And after we went out to eat, a few of the councilmen decided to go bowling. Yeah. Okay, so they decided they were going to go look for a bowling alley and do some bowling. So they went off walking in Breckenridge. Well, on their way to the Bowlerama, this van pulls up, and everybody in the van had nothing on except a gunny sack. And they asked them, "Do you guys want to ride?" Now, I can't tell you who else was with this party because it's not their roast. But there were other people in this, and they all piled into the van, and one of the rules, I think, and I wasn't there. Now, I can tell you, I went back to my room and went to sleep because I don't know how to bowl. But one of the rules is that you had to wear a gunny sack. Well, they evidently had a great time, because I heard that Mayor Ford bowled the greatest game of his life. And he ended up spending the rest of the night talking about it while he hugged the toilet. So if you ever see pictures of somebody with the head cut off in a gunny sack, it just might be Mayor Ford, but it could be 3 or 4 other people whose names I'm not allowed to tell. Okay, now all the stories I've told you tonight are true, and any coincidence, anybody living or dead except Mayor Ford, is strictly coincidental. So if you mention these stories to anyone else and they say, "Well, wait a minute, who told you that?" Please don't mention my name, okay? Thank you. I would like to thank everybody here for showing up and spending their time. I would like to thank Kids First for honoring Mayor Ford, and I would like to thank Mayor Ford for being my friend. Thank you, sir.
Not a lot of people go to Breckenridge to bowl. I think there's a couple alleys down here next time to just save you the trip. The next roaster, this is so impressive. This is a guy who was the youngest member ever elected to the Commerce City Council. Representative Marino is your next roaster. He graduated from Adams City High School as valedictorian. I think he graduated the same year Mayor Ford was eligible for retirement. After completing college, Dominic returned to Commerce City where he served on city council. He now serves as state representative for House 32. Please welcome Dominic to the stage.
My apologies. I was just telling Mayor Ford, forgive me for I know not what I do. I know tonight is to be light and jovial, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention that recently we did lose a very important person in Commerce City. The owner and founder of La Casa del Rey, Gilly Atencio, recently passed away. And so if we can, I would like to observe a moment of silence in his memory before we get started. Thank you very much. All right, let's have some fun here. It's a pleasure to follow Mayor Pro Tem Renee Bullock, my friend and former colleague, or as I refer to him, the new and improved Mayor Pro Tem. The last guy was a complete bum. I owe a lot to Mayor Sean Ford. He was the guy that selected me to be his Mayor Pro Tem, and as I stated before, it was a huge mistake. But I really enjoyed working with Sean, and because Sean is so dedicated to the people of Commerce City and such a dedicated mayor, I never even had the chance to really take over, except for one time. It was right before Thanksgiving, and Sean couldn't be at a meeting. It just happened to be a meeting about fracking. I'm not sure if it was a coincidence or not, but suddenly Sean was nowhere to be found, and I found myself in the mayor's chair. And there's one thing he didn't tell me. There's some buttons on his desk. And I thought, I wonder what those buttons do. Oh. I've always been curious as a kid, so I figured I'm going to try one of those buttons. So I go ahead and push a button, not realizing it was the panic button. And police officers about 2 minutes later come rushing in and say, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. What's going on?" And they're like, no, someone pushed the panic button. And I said, "Oh, that must have been Mayor Ford. I don't know where he is. He just ran out. He just ran out of here. I don't know." But Sean and I have a lot in common. We both were raised in Commerce City. We both went to Adams City High School. There's one important distinction between the two of us. I know city races are nonpartisan, but believe it or not, Sean's a Republican. Sean's a Republican, and I'm a Democrat. But that doesn't mean we can't get along, because after all, Sean is a Commerce City Republican, which means he's a Democrat. So, not many people know the real story about why I left City Council and why I ran for the State House. It was shortly after we were dealing with some really tough issues on the City Council, and Sean invited me over to his place just to talk some issues through. And that's when I saw the dead animals at his house, stuffed and mounted to a wall, and I thought, I gotta get the hell out of here. And that's how I ran for the State House. Many of you know Sean loves to hunt. It must be really difficult having all those bison right in your backyard and not being able to touch them. I've heard that Sean is lobbying the Rocky Mountain Arsenal Wildlife Refuge to stock the lakes with gators so he can do some wrestling. Maybe I've seen Sean, I think, a couple times in his big green truck, booming sexual healing, trying to get the animals to procreate. Maybe there'll be too many animals and he can start hunting some of them down. Sean's a very creative guy. He does things like that. But in all seriousness, I've learned some really important lessons from Sean, and I admire his philosophy on life. And I think we can all live by the principles if you can't shoot it, if you can't write it, you can't blow it up, or you can't have a beer with it, it's probably not worth your time. Congratulations, Sean. Thank you, Kids First, for everything you're doing for our kids in Commerce City.
Okay, I think I know what the next move is after, this is going to be stand-up comedian for Dominic. Okay, we're back to a video. The next video is, the roaster is Congressman Ed Perlmutter. He's out of town and couldn't be here, but didn't want to miss this chance. Congressman Perlmutter has lived in the 7th Congressional District his entire life, and he has represented the district that includes Commerce City since 2007. Let's see what he can tell us about Mayor Ford.
Hi, Sean.
I have a theory, Mayor Ford. Elected officials don't really like to be hard on each other, right? Like, at any moment, they could switch seats, so or you might need them to vote with you. So I think we're going to move off the elected officials, to people who don't really care what you think of them. So the next roaster is Tom Clark, the CEO of the Metro Denver Economic Development Corporation. He's the executive vice president of the Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce. It looks like if anybody's going to offend you tonight, I think it's about to come now. Please welcome Tom Clark.
Mayor, I'm going to want you to turn your chair so you can see that screen. And I don't really want you looking at me while I'm talking. Okay? It's great to be here and great to be a part of this great event. So I've got just a couple of quick little tunes for you. Once in every life, someone comes along. I can't forget the night I first saw you in a thong. "25 years ago, Sean married Samantha Fair. It was his best decision, 'cause it went all downhill from there. Some have questioned his judgment, others his choice in food. I'll try my best with this short jest to not sound terribly rude. Sean Ford likes barbecue. He loves any kind of meat. But when it comes to chicken, it's the one he just won't eat. Now, maybe I'm not tracking when he offers food finger licking. How can he say he knows it tastes like chicken? Sean get his jobs around the airport and make the dog track a thrill. Make friends with Michael Hancock, put Tedesco in your will. And offer aid and comfort to Mayor Hogan too. If Gaylord goes south, he can send it on to you. If you are a dreamer, Sean's just the man to call. From nerve gas dump to refuge to the biggest soccer park of all. If he's that smart, why did he once set his clothes on fire? Sitting in his hot tub completely unattired. If you marry an ugly girl and she changes her name, it don't matter what she's called, she still looks the same. All hell broke loose when you said that to a reporter at NBC. But a sense of humor can ease place it can't amaze. Oh, Sean, my friend, there's too many stories to tell. And if I told a couple, I'd surely go straight to hell. But there's one thing that I can say, straight and oh so true. No one loves his city more than you. No one loves his city more than you.
Who says we're not skilled at the Chamber of Commerce? Pretty soon, Tom and I are going to have our own night show. Ask you guys to tune in. So now I get to roast. And it's hard to follow that because I can't sing. Okay, Mayor. I feel people forgot a couple of tidbits, right? They did a pretty good job, but I think a few things. As a matter of fact, I hired some people to follow him the last couple of weeks just to make sure I could give you everything you should know. I have to tell you how I met Mayor Ford. We were in a goat roping competition together. No, really. He's really good. He's really good. As a matter of fact, he will be on my team every year. He made us very, very proud. But you know, when you have something like that, an experience like that together, you learn a lot about people. And I want to share with you some of the things I learned. He's really competitive. He's really competitive. Now, I want to assure you that no goats were harmed, but I'm pretty sure the one that he was with is in physical therapy still. He drug that goat across the line. But what was important is we did well and we won. He's a Western boy at heart, and this touches a Western girl very quickly. He loves guns. He really loves guns. Do you know what he told me? He loves guns as much as his family. Now, that can be a good sign for the family. He's a good shot, and he'll tell you how valuable this skill has been in his life. But one thing I did promise is not to tell you all the places he has used that skill, because it would be really awkward if you knew. He's very sensitive, like a real kind of soft side to him. This was impressive. So when I first met him, I made a slight mistake. I was asking him why he ran for office and what inspired him and why did he want to represent the people of Toronto and how did he slide into that drug use situation, And he was really disrespectful. He was angry. He pointed out to me that was the other Mayor Ford. Thank you very much. From then on, I had to refer to him as Mayor Sean Ford. He's a hard worker. I learned that. His first job was making tortillas, which I believe you're going tomorrow. He can still roll them today. I was kind of hoping we were getting that for dinner. He started working in Commerce City about 25 years ago. It's an incredible public servant. He was on city council, then mayor again. Almost his entire career has been serving the public with the city of Commerce City. Today, he's a water consultant. Now, just between you and me, I thought somebody should have told Mayor Ford we don't have a lot of water in Colorado, so his opportunities here may be limited. But he's doing okay. In 2011, do you know when he ran for mayor again, he was elected with 70% of the vote. Isn't that incredible? I figured that had to be a record, right? But then I learned a little about his opponent. His opponent was arrested 10 times. As a matter of fact, I grew up in Montana. Back home, we say more convictions than teeth. Now that made me reflect on that 70% figure again, because I was like, what the hell were the other 30% thinking that they didn't vote for you, man? He's well-read, incredibly insightful, always says what's on his mind. You saw a little of it in the song in 2007. When the voters of Commerce City defeated a ballot proposal to change the town's name. But before Mayor Sean Ford responded to a reporter saying, hey, listen, if you got an ugly girlfriend and she changes her name, she's still ugly. I think what Mayor Ford was trying to say is the name was a superficial change. Commerce City is a name that gives insight to the town's deep, commerce-filled roots. He meant it very positively, but I'm guessing he's still explaining that one today. Here's what I saw by working with Sean. He's a leader in every sense of the word. He cares deeply about his community, his city, his region, his state. He was named 2002 Citizen of the Year by the Commerce City Business and Professional Association. The moment I met him, you could feel his warmth and genuine desire to get to know you and to spend time with you. This award, really, it is an honor to be able to sit here and roast you because it truly is in honor of your public service, which all of us admire tremendously. The award you were given in 2002, I think, couldn't better exemplify what we're here tonight to say to you, Mayor Ford. It was intended to go to someone who exhibits values, principles, ethics, and lives by the golden rule. One who helps people and actively participates in their community. You're doing that once again. You're doing it so Kids First Healthcare can continue to be successful and serve even more kids. Thank you. Thank you for letting us do this. And you know what you get to do now is a rebuttal. Hey, by the way, he said at the table, I get the last word. And I said, probably not. Please welcome Mayor Ford.
First, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight to support Kids First. It was a great turnout, and I really appreciate you all being here. And to the people that were roasting me, Mayor Pro Tem Bullock and Tom, the videos that were sent in, Dominic Moreno, you know, there's a few things they didn't tell you everything they could have told you, which they took it easy on me. I was prepared for the real tough stuff. It didn't come. Tom, you did a pretty good job with the whole ugly girlfriend thing. And you know, I have to tell you, after that went out on the, it was terrible. The newscaster was a radio host, called me at like 5 o'clock in the morning, got me out of bed, and I thought, who the hell is calling me? And this guy got on there and he goes, hey, I heard they're trying to change the name of your city. And I said, oh yeah, they are. He goes, well, I got Mr. Benson on the other line. And he's supporting this name change. And Jim serves on council with me, and we get along very, very well. But at the time, I wasn't too happy about the phone call, and Jim got on. He was making accusations that I said something about a pig with lipstick, and I told the newscaster, you know, I said, I've really had enough of this. This is not good for my community. You can't change who we are by changing the name. We'll always be Commerce City, and it's a great place to live. This is where I grew up. And I made the comment about the ugly girlfriend, and I know it was because it was too early in the morning. It did make it to Jay Leno the next day. But I got phone calls all morning long, and at first I thought, oh my gosh, what have I done? You know, I'm going to hear about this, I'm going to get in trouble, everybody's going to be upset. People started calling me. And I don't know, they were from Lakewood, Arvada, all over the metro area. And I thought, what is going on? All these people are calling. And they were saying, hey, thanks, Mayor. You made our day. You made my day. I was on my way to work. I was stuck in traffic. And you know what? You made it all okay. You made it it was all okay. And I thought, you know, after getting about a dozen of those phone calls, my day went pretty good. So sometimes those things work out in your favor. I'll never forget, I had just made Dominic, I'd just gotten elected, I made Dominic my mayor pro tem, and I ended up in the hospital with a lung condition, and I was in there for about 8 days, and I got out, and he called to check on me. Sean, are you all right? I said, yeah, I'm doing okay. Yeah, a little bit of time to recover, but I'm doing all right. He says, hey, I'm going to come by, I got something for you. I said, okay. Well, during our conversation, I happened to tell him that I had lost about 25 pounds while I was in the hospital. And here he comes showing up at my house with all these cherry jelly donut things. And he says, look what I brought you. This will help put that weight back on. Not that I want to put the weight back on by any means. And so we were just at the house visiting, and it wasn't long, and he looks at me and he says, hey, are you going to open those up so we could share them? So me and Dominic sat around eating little cherry donut snacks that he brought me, and they were very good, and I appreciated him coming over, but I just wasn't prepared that I was going to hit the sweets that quick. And I noticed when they showed the video for Kids First, and they talked about, well, if you have diabetes and obesity and this and that, I thought, you know what? I have all those things. I could really use Kids First once in a while. So please donate. And the hot tub thing, that really happened. I saved the furniture that we burned up a great patio set. And it was the middle of the day, and everything caught on fire. I'm glad the fire department didn't show up, because it would have been a very big embarrassment for me. And I actually looked out my window to make sure all my patio chairs were there before I came to this roast, because I thought you were all going to have me sitting in a burned up patio chair for the roast. Yeah, I just was expecting it to be a little more harsh than what it was, because I have done some fun, maybe not too awful things, but I've enjoyed life, and I showed up in blue jeans and cowboy boots because that's just who I am, and most people know that. But it doesn't change the compassion I have for my community. I could tell you right now, Commerce City's in better shape than it's ever been in. We've got a lot of commercial development going on. We are, I think, at the top of the list for communities that are working well regionally. And I couldn't say that without having the best city council around to work with. They stick by me. And I have to say that we have a tremendous staff as well. So the staff's doing a great job. The city council's doing a great job. We don't receive as many complaints as I used to. I get one here and there. They're usually pretty easy to deal with. A pothole here, a chicken there, squirrels once in a while. But most of the time, we handle the complaints pretty readily. And as you notice, that most of my roasters were Democrats, and I'm a Republican, which is good, because it went pretty well. It went really well, and I have to tell you that most everybody that knows me, especially these Democrats that roasted me, know that I don't like to play party politics. I like to do what's right. So. The council's doing the same thing, and that's why we get along so good. We put those things aside, and we move towards what's best for our community. I do have one quick story that I want to tell you, because JD, I don't think I can let her get by. I've been waiting a long time to tell it. JD Carson, who's one of my city council members, she got in a debate with me one time about guns. And yeah, I truly love guns. I love them for the purpose they were meant for. I take my kids hunting as my dad did me. And I had a gun manufacturer in Commerce City for a while. And I was proud of that. I thought, you know what, here we go. We got this gun manufacturer, a business bringing in revenue. And JD found out. I went down and bought one because it's stamped right on there, made in Commerce City, Colorado. And I thought, man, if I've got to have a gun, I'm going to have one that says Commerce City on it. JD found out because I was excited about it. I said, hey, I bought this gun. She says, oh my God, we've got a gun manufacturer in Commerce City? We got to get rid of them. And I said, why would we get rid of them? They're a good business. And so we had this debate. It was this liberal, conservative, anti-gun, pro-gun debate. And I held my ground. She held hers. Christmas came and went. She calls my house and she says, hey, Mayor, my grandkids got guns for Christmas. Do you have any ammunition? So she says, I've been to the store. You can't get ammunition, especially the .22 long rifle. And that's what the kids got. And the kids want to go out, and their dad wants to shoot with them over the weekend. And I said, JD, I got 5,000 rounds. It's going to cost you. So it was a great day for me to have JD roll up to my house and get out and buy 500 rounds of ammunition from me. So, everything kind of comes full circle when you least expect it to. But I have to tell you, I work with 8 amazing people in the council and that staff, and I couldn't be, nor could I do for my community what I do without those folks. So thank you all very much. And a special thank you to Callie for being the MC.
Don't go yet.
I'm not.
Don't leave me yet. Yes, you do. I saw someone ran one up to you. It was like it was an emergency. I know you were all waiting to hear how much you raised, because you get to leave after we hit 10,000, and we're not quite there. $6,865. Yay. We only need $3,135 for you to actually be able to leave the building. The escalator has been shut off, and there's like a barricade in front of it. So fill out the envelopes one more time. If you need another envelope, let us know. This would not be finished without some recognition of an incredible asset that you have in Commerce City, and it's the Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. For the audience, I'm going to remind you a little about the refuge from our history to today, and we want you to stay up so we're not going to make you feel bad anymore, although it looks like we failed miserably. Prior to becoming the refuge, the Plains Indians followed large herds of bison in this area. They lived off the land. The U.S. Army transformed the refuge, the area that is now the refuge, into a chemical weapons manufacturing facility after the Pearl Harbor attack. As production declined at the end of that war, a portion of idle facilities were leased to Shell Chemical Company for the production of agricultural chemicals. In the early 1980s, the Army and Shell began an extensive environmental cleanup under the oversight of the federal, state, and local regulatory agencies. Among many other things, the refuge today is a sanctuary for more than 330 species of animals, including bison, deer, coyotes, bald eagles, and burrowing owls, all of which Mayor Sean Ford is not allowed to shoot. I would like to now invite Cindy Souders up. She is the Visitor Services Manager of the Refuge, to make a presentation to Mayor Ford.
Well, as Kelly said, the history of the refuge is long, and you've been a tremendous part of and partner for making this such an incredible place. So we have a small token of our appreciation for you tonight, and this comes from us as the refuge staff, as well as U.S. Army and Shell. So if you'll come over and unveil it. Well, this comes directly from the refuge, so sorry it's not a gator.
That's all right. Nice. Just where I need it.
We have a few bison tips for.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with bison chips. Me and Kelly are pretty good at throwing those. Huh?
We were.
I know.
These, sir, should be kept in a prominent place, not for throwing. Yeah. I'll get you some throwing ones. So that's it. It was a pleasure to be part of honoring you and to help support Kids First Healthcare. Drop off envelopes as you leave. You're all free. You did your parts very well. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your support of Kids First.
Everybody can come look at the buffalo chips. They're inscribed. What's it say? I didn't even see those.